Ladies and gentlemen, here we are again with Gamershub. My name is Rene Treur. With me is Erik Peters. I think he's the in-game leader for Team AT Gaming Black.
Yes, that's correct.
So Erik, could you do a short introduction from yourself for the viewers? Your esports career?
Sure. My name is Erik Peters. I'm also known as Slain. I think I've been playing CS for like 13 years or something now. Played a lot of 1.6 in teams like Logic and Lone Alliance and Chaos, Future, teams like that. Team the Netherlands for about 7 or 8 years or something. And now I've been playing CSGO casually in the beginning, and now we're trying to get back on track with new teams and get better and try to hit the competitive scene a little bit more than we did before in CSGO.
Cool. Yeah, I've seen you for years on end at the 1.6 events, but you had quite a long break, I think, of a couple of years when CSGO came around.
Yeah, it wasn't really a break. I was just mixing around with players like DMU and Ufir and guys like that, a little bit more casual than I was used to, and I kind of liked it. It wasn't as much pressure to practice. It was like when you would have to do something else, it wouldn't be a problem to take a night off. And now we're trying to pick that back up, like scheduled weekdays to practice and stuff like that. Yeah. It's a little bit more pressure, and it's pretty hard to combine with the life. Now you're all getting older. Back in the glory days of 1.6, you were all like 16, 17 years old, so it was a lot easier to pick up that schedule. Yeah. But now, yeah, we're picking it back up, and we're doing a pretty good job. We're a little bit inconsistent, but yeah, we're trying to do our best.
Cool. How did the event go so far? Could you quickly take us through the group stage?
It was kind of a whitewash against 3 teams. Not to be disrespectful, of course, but I think those teams were a little bit more to have fun here. You always have those teams that go into a group not really thinking they could win, but going in there for fun, trying to play, you know. Guys behind us saying like, oh, if we would have won that round, we would have had 5 rounds against you, you know, a little bit more fun than competitiveness. Yeah. And then we had one match where we just woke up because we played 3 matches last night and 1 match this morning, where we just woke up and we weren't warmed up at all, and we had a really big struggle to get our strats up and going, because it's really hard as a captain as well to call your strats when you know your players you should depend on aren't hitting their shots. So it's pretty hard to say like, we have Lewis Refo as our main opper, and I would say like, Lewis, go get a pick on a main or something. And it's really hard if he says like, I'm not feeling it, man, I'm not confident enough to take that pick. It's really hard to go back to something. So that's something we could learn, and we lost 16-14 to a team of players that I think we recently played on a different LAN. We won 16-5. Yeah. So we were a little bit. Brian and Oid. Those are the only 2 players I actually know by name. But yeah, they played really well. We got a lot of good shots from them, and we played 16-14. We lost 9-6 on cash as CT, so that's a pretty bad scoreline on CT cash. But we tried to pick it back up, and we went to like 16-14, which ended up in a 2-on-1 or something. It was really close. To being overtime, and then we lost that match. But we always have that slum, you know. We have that one match where you just can't pick it up, and we play really bad. And yeah, now it's just us trying to get to the brackets and really show what we're worth instead of just focusing on that 16-14 match. Yeah, doesn't really matter. Now we're second in the pool. We got placed against Ruse. They didn't like that because we were second. You know, they said we want to play a best of 3 against you, and we said, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, we got second because we lost 16-14. Yeah, and now it's yeah, we're trying to pick it back up, and I think we're playing the first bracket match went very well. So we'll see what we can do. We have to play Lone Alliance next, and we feel very confident that we can take them because we have a lot of. I think there's a lot of underestimation in that match because they think they don't really know us that well because we were all 1.6ers. They weren't really. There was a couple guys from Source, a couple guys from CSGO itself. They played against us a couple of times. We did a recent prac on Cobble where we won 16-3 against them. So that's a pretty convincing scoreline, and we're just trying to get our best. We're trying to get hype, the high fives, the old Navi playstyle, you know, and giving each other's high fives and hyping it up. You need to watch out with that because if you start losing, then it's bad. But yeah. So yeah, you lose your focus, and when you start losing, you were like hyped up because of winning all those rounds, and if you lose one and then to lose 2, and the hype starts getting to you, you know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's going well, I think.
You talked about some added pressure from being in an organization. Does the seeding also add some pressure because you have been seeded 6th of these 78 teams? Yeah. Right, 1 spot under Lowland Lions. Do you feel some added pressure, or are you guys like, we don't care?
We haven't been together long enough to feel actual pressure. We have a lot of talent. We have good players, good aim. They all come from 1.6 backgrounds. I've been playing like 13 to 15 years or something, except for Flesher.
Yeah.
But Flesher is a good talent. He really picks up everything. If you tell him one thing, he picks that up immediately and converts that into the next match. So he's a really good player to have as well. So we don't really feel the pressure. We're trying to kind of let it depend on the experience we have. And if we start losing rounds, we're like, calm down, guys. We've been here before. Let's just pick it back up. And we know we can shoot crazy headshots. So let's just try that individual play. Same as we did versus Roos. Like, I'll flash you in, you peek those. You can get those guys. I'll flash you in, you peek those two guys, and he gets both kills. So that's kind of how we need to play against, like, no respect play against Lowland Lions. Otherwise, we're going to get walked over probably. But no, so we don't really feel pressure because of seedings or anything. We just came here. We came here to have fun. Of course, we want to win, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
So you haven't set a real goal for yourself in the brackets. Just see how it goes, and
the goal is always #1. But if I'm not sure if it's realistic because there are a lot of talented CS:GO teams who have a lot more hours into the game than we do. We've been together a lot longer than we have. Yeah. But that's all fun and games. It's all cool. We're here at LAN. We're just having fun together, and we're just trying to see how many matches we can win because we know we can be really strong, but we're really momentum based. So once we get going, it's really hard to stop us. But if we get into a slump, it's very possible that we could walk over ourselves on a certain side. Never a whole map, but a certain side mostly. Which can ultimately make you lose a map, of course, if you play one bad side. But we just we're kind of like Virtus Pro, you know. We live off the fact that we're winning, and then we get hyped up and we start shooting even harder than we did before. Yeah. That's kind of where we try. Exactly, completely momentum based. Yeah.
And one last question: who do you expect if you'd have to do a realistic expectancy of who would end up first? Who would you say? Because SD Gaming was seeded first, despite having lost against Dead Pixels at Esports Festival. And Dead Pixels here again with 4 the same players and 1...
I think it's for me it's really hard to say because I don't know the scene completely like I did back in the day in 1.6. What I know is that EC Visualize, if we win versus Lowland Lions, I think we have to play EC Visualize, and those guys won the party. Yeah. I know those guys are really good, so they have a shot. SD Gaming has a shot. If Lowland Lions hits their shots, they have a shot. If we keep playing our own game, we actually have a shot. But I definitely think Dead Pixels on aim are probably the best aimer team on paper in CS:GO. But experience-based, there are a lot of different teams that are actually a lot more experienced because these guys just came around the corner and started playing. But they're really good aimers and they have a lot of time to invest hours into CS:GO, so that makes them hard to stop. So if I would have to say our biggest threat is probably Dead Pixels. Okay. Not SD Gaming, I think, because SD Gaming has players we've played so many times before, and I think we only played Dead Pixels once. Yeah. So that makes it hard as well. It's good to play versus different players and get to know them. And we haven't played enough versus them to know how they actually play. So I think Dead Pixels could be first again here. Yeah. But like I just said, there are like 6 or 7 teams that could actually take the first place. So that makes it a cool competition here.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, I hope to see you come far. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Any shout-outs?
Shout-outs to my brother who was watching at home. Shout-outs to my team, all our sponsors, AT Gaming Organization. Yeah, that's about it. I think that's
cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
And, see you around.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We will be back as soon as possible with another bracket match.